Hello, America, and welcome to the Glenn Beck program and to the network that you're building, GBTV. Tonight, I can guarantee you, if I did this show on CNN or on Fox, I think I would get about 15 minutes into this show, and the network execs would have been on the phone with my show executives, and they would have been screaming for 45 minutes. Guarantee it. And then I would have got the lectures of my life. And here's why this show is not done on cable news. Because we're going to mention God. I can also tell you this. History repeats itself, and that's a blessing to us. History repeats itself in art, in fashion, in politics. What's happening in the right now happened in the 1930s. Dictators. The patterns repeat over and over and over again. One of the books I challenged you to read this year is this one. It is In the Garden of Beasts. I can't even get my friends or families to read this because, I mean, they're numb to my suggestions at this point. And this, I mean, I just open it up to any page. Page 202, first word that jumps out, Gehring. So you know it's not a happy book, okay? And I've beaten the life out of my friends with the books, and they cry a lot. So they're not going to read it. And if you're not going to read it, that's fine. Let me suggest another book, because this one has a garden and a beast. It starts in a garden and ends in a beast. But warning, the kids around you might want to cover their eyes and ears, because this book is considered one of the most dangerous books and controversial books in history. It used to be taught in every school. Now it's not. These are not normal times. People think that we are fighting a political campaign, but we are not. This is not about the Obama administration or who's going to be our next president. This is about our survival and quite possibly the survival of our souls. There's a much, much bigger battle that goes on. We are not battling for the next election. We're battling for the very soul of each of us and of our nation. Anyone who doubts that, take a good look at the news and the twisting and the distorting and the evil that comes from the hate crimes to the subtle attacks. Try this one on. This one is former faith advisor to the President of the United States, Barack Obama. His name is Sean Casey. He recently spoke at the Center for American Progress that's Soros funded. Here's what he had to say about civil religion. Listen.
There is also a negative underside to that history with respect to slavery, to manifest destiny, to war, to empires. So I frankly am glad American civil religion is dying.
This is crazy. I mean, people of faith basically are the cause of slavery and the wars and everything else. No, sir. No, sir. It is the government using religion. Religion has freed us here in America. But he's glad it's dying off. Now let's assume that he's right. What happens after this religion dies off? Listen.
But it does raise the practical question, what does bind us together in some way as a country? We need some substitute for that, and I don't think
we have it yet. So he's saying we need some substitute for religion, but they don't necessarily have any ideas yet. They're looking for something that will bind them together. Just a guess, maybe hope could bind us all together. Now, some of the other stories from just this weekend. 3 Afghans were found guilty in the honor killing of 4 women in Canada. This happened, a husband, a wife, and a son, convicted of first-degree murder for the killing of the family's 3 teenage daughters and another woman. These dirtbags decided that there was, quote, a diseased limb on the family tree, and they decided to trim the diseased limb. Their crime, these women, well, they had Christian boyfriends, and they wore short skirts. In video recordings, this man, the dad, said, quote, there can be no betrayal, no treachery, no violation more than this. If they hoist me up into the gallows, nothing is more dear to me than my honor. Holy cow. If that is your religion, you need to be stopped. And it is spreading. Muslims in the UK were convicted after they made and sent out pamphlets in protest of a gay pride parade that advocated for the killing of homosexuals on the basis of their homosexuality. This is what's coming, America, and the left is co-opting it. You'll see next hour. Quote, the death sentence is the only way this immoral crime can be erased from corrupting society and act as a deterrent for all other ill persons who is remotely inclined to be bent this way. The pamphlets had their own acronym for gay that read, God abhors you. And that sound like God hates fags? It's the same kind of evil as that Baptist church that isn't a church. They showed mannequins hanging from a noose, and they said they should all be sent to hell. It's evil, and that's what it is, period. This isn't about left or right, it's about evil. But remember, that same evil is portraying Christians as the dangerous ones here in America.
The belief funding those attacks, okay, that is widespread. And if you take radical Islam and you want to talk about what's going on there, you have to...
And just one second, radical Christianity is just as threatening as radical Islam in a country like America.
Is it? Is it, Rosie? You and your friends are going to be the first rounded up by those people. You're not going to be rounded up by a group of Christians. If you want to say God hates fags, those people, yeah, but those aren't Christians. Those are crazy people. Crazy people. And it's Christians who are standing around blocking them from hurting anybody. It will be Christians, just like it was Christians that stopped slavery. It's Christians that stopped the slaughter of witches. And if you don't believe me, bring it on, Rosie. I have the actual documents. Christianity, Judeo-Christian values are what saved this country from itself over and over again. When Fort Bragg organized a free concert called Rock the Fort, partnership with Billy Graham Association, the attack began. The atheists were upset, even though it wasn't mandatory for the soldiers, completely their own call. Here's what the atheists said in their complaint, quote, we felt it was entirely inappropriate for anyone to say your current religion is wrong. Whatever their current religion preference is, it has no bearing of how they are fit to be a soldier or anything related to military business. So this atheist said it was entirely inappropriate for anyone to say your current religion is wrong. Remember that. He helped organize a response, and he's called it Rock Beyond Belief. One of the bands promoted on the Rock Beyond Belief website is Aiden. I want you to see a little bit of this video. There's the cross. Oh, look, that's not too spooky. Oh, no. Oh, it's a bloody cross now. Okay, that's good. All right. In case that imagery isn't clear enough, here are some of the lyrics. Listen. Okay, that's, I believe, mocking of religion in Arlington Cemetery. Is there anything sacred in this country anymore? By the way, there's a rapper on this, this whole event that's being held at Fort Bragg, a rapper who raps about evolution. And I'm not kidding, I'm not making this up. There's a kiddie pool devoted to science to show kids how they too can walk on water. See, Jesus wasn't that special after all. You can walk on water too. Now, I'm not sure how this response concert fits this atheist value of it's entirely inappropriate to say your current religion is wrong. But it's okay to feature bands who sing about burning churches and attempt to challenge standard Christian beliefs. That's fine. Really? The atheist that started this didn't care about the standard. He wants to destroy religion, and that is the goal. Troops are going to see this garbage now. How are we going to hold their feet to the fire? How are we going to keep people from killing people just because it's fun when we chase God out of our forts? Catholics should be awake today. Last week, we told you the Department of Health and Human Services wanted to mandate faith-based employers to provide health insurance, which includes subsidized contraception, sterilization, and coverage for abortion-inducing drugs. Now, here's what it means. Catholic colleges and Catholic hospitals and other Christian institutions are now going to be forced to violate their own belief system. It's like mandating that Jews no longer eat anything kosher because it's unhealthy for them. Doesn't matter. The Catholic Church is rightly outraged, as should every church. The bishops met with the Pope, and letters were sent out to thousands of parishes all across America to denounce the decision. It was to be read, if you're a Catholic, if you didn't hear the letter in your church yesterday, you ask your parish priest why. The church is gravely alarmed, and they should be. The churches are under assault, and the Catholics are just the first. What happens to a society when you rip God and the Bible and religion out of this culture? Well, the value of life takes a major hit. And then you see headlines like this from Friday pop up. Is it morally wrong to take a life? Not really, say the experts. Okay, well, if we're all from that primordial soup of the cosmos and we're destined to decompose back into the soup when we die, well, then who cares, right? So I kill somebody, but I need something from them. It's to help the collective. Do not dismiss this. It's coming. This story is incredible. I got this on Friday, and I couldn't believe it because I've read about it over and over, and in history books like this one. So, what is that story about? Well, that is the ethicists from the National Institute of Health and Duke University. And what are they talking about? Well, what they're doing is taking the example of organ donors, and they're trying to open a door into a larger and more disturbing world. Follow this line of thinking. If we're wrong, if killing were wrong just because it's causing death or the loss of life, then the same principle would apply with the same strength to pulling weeds out of a garden. If it's not immoral to weed a garden, then life as such cannot really be sacred, and killing as such cannot be morally wrong. They're talking about people who are not dead, but they're disabled, so we can take their organs. And they're comparing them to weeds in a garden. Who's going to be the gardener? This has happened before, and it will happen again unless we stand. I'm not sure if there's any way to describe what I've shown you tonight in the first 23 minutes of this program other than evil. And I know that's not going to be said on mainstream television. And this is not CBN. This isn't the 700 Club. The God thing is not what we do, but the God thing is part of our life. I hope it is on your Saturday or on your Friday or on your Sunday. And the rest of the week as well. I want to show you the lengths that people will go to rationalize this sort of crazy thinking. It also cannot be unfair to kill her if it does her no harm. This part is, you're not harming her, she's disabled. You're not disabling her. Disabling her would be wrong, but killing her when she has no quality of life, wrap your head around this logic and try not to be evil. You can kill them so long as you don't harm them. It's spiritual warfare being waged by the forces of darkness. It's not about the Barack Obama administration. It's not about, Newt Gingrich or anybody else. This is truly about the destruction of our faith and the enslaving of our souls and our people. Everything we hold dear. So what do you do about it? How do you fight that? The answer, next.